So, yeah, let's talk about this, guys. We talked about this a little on Book the Ticket, where we actually talked about the logistics and some of the other franchises, but now we're here to actually talk about the big thing that happened. Disney, moments away from possibly buying Fox and all their media properties. So, likelihood of X-Men Fantastic Four being in the MCU within the next 3 to 4 years is really high at this point. And there's a lot of excitement, rightfully so, because people have been wanting this for as long as I can remember. And how do you guys feel about this?
Look, man, I know Disney's buying like not all of Fox. I think it's just
21st century.
Yeah, because like that would be kind of crazy if Disney was buying all of Fox, because that is a straight up monopoly type of thing.
Yeah, they're leaving the news and the sports.
Yeah, because that'd be really crazy. But if it's just 21st century, like, I mean, they're just trying to up their movie division type of thing, which, you know, it happens in the Hollywood. Like, a lot of these companies go out, some never come back, some get bought out. Like, you just think it's weird because it's 21st Century Fox, like like one of the bigger studios. So I'm down with it just because I would love like the idea of like being kind of personal, or kind of like just having the X-Men. Like, I just want that idea. But I mean, they get like what, Alien, they get the Star Wars, they get everything else.
I mean, wouldn't you want to watch a Blu-ray cut of the original cut of the trilogy?
Yes.
It's kind of like I wasn't born around that time, so I don't necessarily care too much about it.
I mean, for me, it's not like that I need it, but as like one of these film a-holes that's like, oh, I want to see the originals. I just want them so I can have the originals. So if I feel the need, I can go back, oh, look, I can see the floating potato in Return of the Jedi that they used as an asteroid. Like, I want that again, you know? Like
I'm sure I'm the same way. Like, I'd want to see it just because I don't remember actually seeing, like, the original without
That's because you probably didn't.
I probably didn't, to be honest. And I'd watch them, and I won't lie. I feel like if I do watch them, I'd be like, yeah, this is so outdated.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This is going to be so outdated.
I mean, they're updated with digital updates. So.
I mean, they're a little bit less outdated.
They are.
No, the CGI was awful.
If you go back and watch like the Rancor scene in the original Star Wars cut, you could see the black outline around it. The special editions completely removed that, which is like, that would be a giant part of this merger. But like, when you go back to the whole merging thing, how do you? Because guaranteed Fox, once this happens, Fantastic Four will get a proper reboot, and it's going to be huge. The big thing would be, where are you going with the X-Men, and what do you do with these? Do you do what we just talked about in the previous discussion we had, where you multiverse the X-Men, then you go, hey, Hugh Jackman, if you really want to come back, we can multiverse you in here for like another team-up movie, and that's cool, and we'll give you a suit finally? Or do they do a Spider-Man and a clear-cut reboot? Because I feel like X-Men could stand on their own and never be part of the MCU, and I would be okay with it. But I feel like if Marvel was to reboot it, they would finally give me the X-Men that I want, which is like the proper suits and a young team and all that.
You'd get those X-Men regardless if they're in there or not, because it'll be under Marvel doing it.
Mm-hmm. What I wonder is, what do you do with Deadpool, Logan, and New Mutants? Like, do you count that as like canon, or would it be like, no, that was Fox, we're just rebooting it all together, like those are other movies?
I don't think you really got to worry about Logan, because that's just a one-off.
Well, Deadpool, you could bring in, you can still bring in Ryan Reynolds, I assume, right? Like, even though his movies.
I think Deadpool and New Mutants are the only two you could drag in, and have it kind of make sense.
Honestly, you could see like. Deadpool 2 is going to come out. Let's say by the time this deal materializes, they're already shooting X-Force, right? Which they will be. And suddenly Disney steps in, like, okay, how do we do this? You could legit see an opening where Deadpool's like, so I was in a convoluted timeline, but the big overlord bought me. Check it out. Disney comes in, they do a little animation of like Mickey paying a Fox or something for money. And he suddenly goes, so now we're in their universe. Go with it. And people would be like, ha ha ha, that's clever, sweet. Like, I think... Honestly,
you have the opportunity with Deadpool to do stuff like that.
And honestly, he could just be like, oh yeah, and we're here because of the multiverse. Go see Ant-Man 2 to understand what that is. Simple plug. It's a Deadpool way to do it, and it would make sense. Like, Deadpool gives them that opportunity where they can merge and do whatever they want, and it wouldn't be a problem. So,
like, I would love they're probably gonna do something like that. They won't do exactly that because that's like they don't even do that for X-Men right now. But that sounds cool. Like, hey, go see Ant-Man 2. Like, that just sounds cool to like if Deadpool were to say that. But they'll do something like that. I don't think they'll say, hey, go see Ant-Man 2. But it'll be something similar where it's gonna make you want to go see the other movies that maybe you haven't seen. You know what I mean? So, but look, I'd assume you have to do 2 multiverses if you get all of them, because you have to do one for X-Men and one for Fantastic Four, because...
No, because it's all part of one multiverse.
Well, true.
I mean,
I don't know.
You could do a different universe, but it's still in the multiverse.
I got it.
That's what I meant. Did I say different multiverse? I meant different universe.
He said 2 multiverses.
The great way to do it is
like...
like...
We're not doing DC Metal, Joe. Like, calm down.
I love DC Metal, though.
I mean... The best way to do it is, like, after Avengers 4, they're like, all right, we need to take these Infinity Stones and separate them so they can never be put together again by anybody. Doctor Strange is like, hold up a second, opens up a portal, and there's Professor X waiting. And he's like, here you go, Charles. It's like, we would all bust a nut. We would all bust a nut.
One way to, like, upgrade the Illuminati is have it use, like, multiverse.
Multiverse, exactly.
So you just keep the X-Men in their own thing. You keep the Fantastic Four in their own thing. You just give them a stone each.
Are we going?
You bring them in at certain points.
Are we going young, like very young in all these, so that we can have them for the future?
Oh, totally.
Like, cast. Hugh Jackman will be the only one that's not the youngest, but that's okay because you don't necessarily need Wolverine. We just need Hugh Jackman for one time, real quick.
I don't want a young Fantastic Four again.
No. I meant like all around.
I want like 25, 30-year-old tops for Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because the Fan Four Stick one felt like 20, like they're 18 to 20 for some reason. I would love a quote unquote origin story, but I feel like Marvel won't do origin stories again because like there's that whole stigma.
We get an origin story with Captain Marvel and Black Panther, no doubt.
Like I said when I made my old video, I would love it if Fantastic Four was legitimately a period piece in the 60s. Like, just do that.
You could. Like, you know, they explore the multiverse, have them in the 60s in a different multiverse, and say it's getting destroyed by Galactus, and they end up being stuck in ours. Done.
Yep.
I'd also want a very good Doom.
Oh.
You know, like a Doom good origin. Like, I mean, that'd probably have to be his own movie, but at the same time, I think maybe you could do his origin in the Fantastic Four movie while also not having him be the bad guy. Like, I don't need him to be the bad guy again.
Fantastic Four is one of those movies where you don't need a bad guy. Or
if you do, every movie needs a bad guy.
No, I don't think you do.
Yeah, because
I really don't think you do with Fantastic Four. If you're gonna
Marvel movie that doesn't have a bad guy.
Well, I'm not saying that. That's not my point. Like, at all. I'm saying you don't need one for the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four isn't Iron Man.
Yeah, but you're gonna get one anyways.
Well, yeah, you're probably gonna get one. But I'm saying you don't need one for them.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
If you're gonna have one, don't do Doom. Do Annihilus.
Yeah.
Let's not do Doom for a 4th fucking time.
Yep.
We've had enough.
I would hope they don't. Yeah.
Just do Annihilus or someone.
Have them be side by side with Reed. Why can't they be friends? They are friends, or they were friends in the comics. Like a very.
That's been every movie so far. Let's just just keep away from Doom for a little bit.
Well, yeah. I say bring in Doom. Just don't have him be the bad guy. Just have him be because I need to see Doom done right.
I mean, everyone needs to see Doom done right. Like,
yeah, I think you could bring him into the first one and have him be like that. Just don't have him turn bad.
It's not even like only does Doom need it. With Marvel doing such a cosmic expansion, can you imagine how beautiful like a Silver Surfer movie would be, where you spend like half an hour seeing him with his family, and then it gets attacked, and he has to literally like give up his soul, like to protect his family and children. Like that would be so good. And by the time that movie ends, you're like. So yeah, Surfer now, he's a bad guy, but he's not, though. Like, I understand why he's doing this. So when he's facing the Fantastic Four or the MCU inevitably, you're like, I don't want to see him die, though. Like, I think Surfer could probably be a trilogy on his own that leads into more. And
100%. You set Surfer up for, like, the Annihilators.
Oh, my God.
We're definitely taking this as too comic-y, I think. There's gotta...
See, I don't think that's...
No. I don't think Silver Surfer is a bad idea or too comic-y to do. I think he could definitely do it. I just don't know if he get his own trilogy in that sense. I know he probably deserves it.
100% he can get his own trilogy.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I know.
totally.
He probably can't pull out a trilogy. I know he deserves it because he is that big of a character and this and that. And I just don't know if he'd get it, to be honest.
Look, if the Guardians of the fucking Galaxy got a trilogy, the Silver Surfer's going to get one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
100%.
It's just weird because then there's so many Marvel characters. Like if X-Men, if it has 4, right? I think they'd probably push those first before Silver Surfer for some reason. I don't know. I just have a feeling that they won't do Silver Surfer, which is like I want them to do it, but
They would.
I don't know if they will. There's some reason in the back of my mind thinking that they won't because it is still movies and it is still Hollywood.
But he's too big of a character not to do it.
Yeah, but they did do the Marvel's Runaway film.
Yeah, but then Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
I think once they showed they could do like,
but they didn't.
they showed they could do Guardians and Ant-Man. I think Surfer's more known than either of those ever was. So it's like,
See, my thing isn't like I know it sounds like I'm on the opposite side, but my thing isn't that they don't know how to do it, that they can't do it. I definitely think they would be able to do one, be a really good one. There's just a feeling in the back of my mind that they won't do it for some reason. I don't know why. That's the one movie I think they won't do. I think they'll do everything else.
The way they're going now, especially if they're going more cosmic, you'd be an idiot not to do a Silver Surfer movie.
See, for some reason,
he literally surfs around the universe. Why would you not do that movie? You're expanding outwards into that.
I would love that. But there's some reason I think he'll be in someone else's movie for some reason.
You try to compare it to the Runaways, but the Runaways is not the Silver Surfer.
I hope y'all are right. I really hope y'all are right because I have this feeling that's the one character that they won't do that they'll put in someone else's movie.
I mean, here's the thing. When Kevin Feige, before Marvel Studios ever started, he worked with Fox and Sony. He was the one that was pushing for a standalone Silver Surfer. Like, he was the one that was like, no, Doug Jones, man, that's going to be our Surfer. Like, so I think Kevin Feige wants it, and if he wants it, it's going to exist. Like, there's no question about it. So, like,
here's hoping. I just really would love to see that. I just
can we get it done by Gunn? Maybe not make it as jokey as the Guardians, but I think he's got or even like a Taika Waititi.
Yeah,
just get one.
Because that would be way too jokey then. Because Taika is way more jokey than.
I wouldn't say he's more. It's a different brand of humor. I just think he's funnier than Gunn.
No, I definitely think he's more jokey than Gunn.
Guardians 2 had far more jokes in it than Ragnarok.
He's funnier, yeah. Taika is funnier than James Gunn, or at least his movies, not the people. But I don't know. There's just like it would be jokier. I don't see how you can.
Well, there wasn't anywhere near as many jokes in Ragnarok as there was in Guardians 2.
True. I don't know. I feel like every line was a joke.
Yeah, in Guardians 2, but not in Ragnarok.
No, in Ragnarok.
No.
I feel like every line, like I literally couldn't stop laughing. Like every line was a joke. Like
so Thor praying about his dad's a joke.
Yeah, because like Loki came in and then he threw the rock. And
yeah,
I was
but
like,
that's after that line.
Yeah, all that.
Like,
I feel like it was all just joke. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, he seems way joking.
Guardians to me, the Guardians 2 was a cartoon at moments.
Oh,
like it was like Scooby-Doo. I was like, what am I even watching anymore? Oh.
Guardians 2, was it? No, well, Joss Whedon does the same thing where they just put in too many jokes. Like him and James Gunn just like.
Joss Whedon tries to be quippy. Gunn goes for the joke.
Well, we're Gunn, like in Whedon, like where they have this epic thing, right? And then it's supposed to be maybe emotional too. They just add in a joke and like with Guardians 2 and Justice League, and it just feels unnecessary.
Yeah, but that's the basics of storytelling, Joe.
Yeah, no, but it just felt unnecessary because
that's the basics of storytelling.
It was a joke too much.
You look at the theater masks. What one's happy, the other one's what?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that in those two specific movies, they just did too much. Like the jokes, like there were some jokes that were fine, but I think we said it before how Guardians 2 was just a joke too much type of thing.
Guardians 2 got silly. That was his problem.
Well, yeah, it was the joke too much.
Yeah, but a joke doesn't mean silly.
Oh, to me, that
they're too much.
It depends on how you handle it, I guess, the situation. Yeah. Like when their faces are morphing and they're jumping through stuff, I was like, what is even happening?
Like, come on, when they're doing the whole
silly. That's
when they're
too silly.
When they do the Pac-Man thing at the very end, like
yeah.
I mean, I get
that's
it.
Joke too far.
Yeah, that's like.
Well, let me ask you guys a question this way: if the X-Men and like all this gets rebooted, which it probably will, what tone do you take with it? Because I feel like Fantastic Four would have to be more of a jokey tone. Doctor Doom would have to be a semi-serious movie. Galactus, I mean, he's eating worlds, so that's kind of got to be serious, right? Like, it's weird how they'd have to balance it all out.
They'll all be kind of the same tone, kind of anyways, and that's not a knock, because like that, I mean, if it works, what works. I feel like it'll all be the same tone it is now. I think the only ones that are not really in that same tone are maybe Winter Soldier and Civil War. I feel like those are the only movies that are not.
I mean, Iron Man 3 is not the same tone as Guardians.
Okay, yeah.
Neither's Ant-Man. Black Panther.
No, I think they're all same. The Marvel tone in a sense. I just think maybe Winter Soldier is probably above that in a way, and I don't say that as a bad way. It sounds like I'm saying that in a bad way, but I just feel like it's all going to be.
They've all got distinctive tones.
I think they got distinctive attributes, like in terms of what they want to try to do. Like, Spider-Man: Homecoming was getting the low level type of thing. Iron Man 3 was very.
So you're telling me that Spider-Man: Homecoming's got the same tone as Thor: The Dark World?
I think they're all kind of funny.
Dark World, funny too.
Well, I mean, I thought it was kind of. What do you mean?
Serious.
Literally...
That's why Ragnarok's funny, because they were too serious with it.
No, Thor 1 and Thor 2 were funny. They literally are even mention of the same thing of how they were supposed to be the comedy. I was like,
what name me one joke in Thor: The Dark World.
See, I laughed at the meme, like.
I said a joke. That's not humor.
Oh, and also the captain, and then when they're in the ship, like type of stuff, like with Loki. It is the one not funny part of that movie is the funeral, because that was a great scene.
Oh yeah, that was pretty.
Funeral
good.
was a really great scene, but other than that, like I felt Thor 2 was like very like.
I thought the humor was like crap because they forced it in there, like
but they tried to be comedic. It definitely was
tried.
Like subpar humor, but
they fell flat on their face in Thor: The Dark World, where Ragnarok has a completely different tone to it and how they handle it, so it felt more appropriate. Like,
I still like.
They don't have all the same tone. You're thinking of something completely different.
To me, there is like a Marvel tone type of thing, and that's not even a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
I'm not saying you are saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying
I know some people will probably think that I'm saying it's a bad thing, but I
think everything, don't they?
That's true. But
I think you're thinking of something else, and it's not tone. To be perfectly honest.
I feel like I am watching a Marvel movie every time. Like I know what's I'm gonna get. It's the tone for me.
They're with different tones.
To me, I think it's all kind of the same tone, and I'm down with that, because like it'll just be like that whole. They'll have an emotional story. It's lighthearted. There's jokes. There'll maybe be one serious moment, and then bad guys, always bad guys. So I just like that's what I assume Fantastic Four and X-Men will kind of be like, similar to. It'll be a Marvel movie.
That's what they are now, if you're going to break it down to that.
Yeah, but it'll be a Marvel movie. It'll
have the Marvel, it'll have the entertaining factor, but also give you a few laughs and everything like that, which...
Yeah, it'll be the Marvel time.
I mean, why not? If that's what we're getting, then if it's worked so far, then why the hell not, I'll take it.
That's, I mean, yeah, you had asked, like, what kind of feel would we get? I feel like it'll just be a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And, then we could get, like, more stuff with it, and there you go. Like...